In any great democracy, there's this ultimate promise, right? Liberty, freedom. But what actually guarantees that? I mean, really, what is the one thing that stands between you, the citizen, and the massive power of the government? Well, today we are going to dive deep into the very bedrock of that liberty in India, its fundamental rights. So let's just start with that big question right there. Just think about it for a second. What actually stops a government, any government, from just having total unchecked power over its people? The answer, lucky for us, is this incredibly powerful idea. The people who wrote India's constitution, they built a constitutional shield. These are the fundamental rights, and you'll find them in Part 3 of the Constitution. And here's the best part. This shield is justiciable. Now, that's a key word. It just means that if someone messes with your rights, you can actually go to court to enforce them. See, it's a shield with teeth.
So if we have this constitutional shield, what's it actually made of? Let's break it down and see what we're working with.
Okay, so this shield is made of 6 core plates. Now, fun fact, there were originally 7. But back in 1978, a big change, the 44th Amendment, removed the right to property from this special list. So for today, we're focused on the 6 that we have now. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to look at each one of these 6 core protections one by one. First up, the right to equality. And right away, this is super interesting because Article 14 actually borrows from 2 different traditions. It has 2 parts. You've got equality before law, which is a British idea. It basically means nobody, and I mean nobody, is above the law. Then you have equal protection of laws, which comes from the American system. This means that if people are in a similar situation, they should be treated, well, similarly. It's a subtle difference, but it's absolutely crucial.
And this idea of equality, it just keeps going. Article 15 says you can't be discriminated against. Article 16 is about making sure everyone gets a fair shot at government jobs. And then you get to Articles 17 and 18, which are just massive social reforms, getting rid of untouchability and aristocratic titles. The whole point is to create a truly level playing field for everyone.
Next on the list, we have the right to freedom, and Article 19 is really the heart and soul of it. You should think of these 6 freedoms as a kind of package deal for your personal liberty. It's your right to say what you think, to gather peacefully with others, to form groups or associations, to travel and live anywhere you want in the country, and to choose whatever job you want. This is the very essence of what it means to be free in a society.
But freedom is also about being protected, right? So Article 20 makes sure you can't be punished twice for the same crime or be forced to be a witness against yourself. Article 22 protects you from just being arrested for no good reason. But the giant here, the big one, is Article 21, the right to life and personal liberty. I mean, the Supreme Court has stretched this single right to include everything from a right to privacy to a right to a clean environment. It is an incredibly powerful and dynamic right.
The third right is all about protecting basic human dignity. It's the right against exploitation, and it takes a direct shot at horrible practices like human trafficking, forced labor, and putting kids in dangerous jobs. It's a clear, powerful statement that you can't treat human beings like property.
And, in a country as incredibly diverse as India, these next 2 rights are just essential. They guarantee your freedom to believe in any religion or to believe in none at all. And they give minorities special protection to hold on to their unique cultures and languages, even letting them run their own schools. This is all about protecting the very fabric of India's pluralism. Okay, so we've got this incredible constitutional shield. It sounds amazing, but like any shield, it's not totally invincible, and it's really, really important to understand where the limits are. So here is something you absolutely have to get. In India, your fundamental rights are not absolute. They're not unlimited. The Constitution itself actually builds in some limits. What the Constitution allows is for the government to put reasonable restrictions on some of these rights. For instance, your freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to say something that threatens national security or public order. It's this constant, delicate balancing act between your individual freedom and the good of everyone else. And this balancing act gets put to the ultimate test during a national emergency. If one is declared, boom, your Article 19 freedoms, speech, assembly, all that, they're automatically suspended. But, and you have to hear this is a massive but, Articles 20 and 21 can never be suspended. Your right to life and your protection from being wrongly convicted, those stay with you, no matter what. That is a heck of a guarantee. Okay, so you have a shield, but what happens if someone actually tries to break through it? Well, for that, the Constitution doesn't just leave you defenseless, it gives you a weapon. Let's talk about the sword of justice.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is the main architect of the Constitution, said this about what we're about to discuss. He called it the very soul of the Constitution and the very heart of it. He said without this one thing, the whole document would be a nullity, basically worthless. He was talking about Article 32.
So, what is Article 32? It's the right to constitutional remedies. It gives you the power to go straight to the Supreme Court if your rights are violated. And when you do, the court has 5 powerful tools it can use. They're called writs. So let's say someone is locked up illegally. A writ of Habeas Corpus forces the authorities to bring that person to court. Or if a public official just refuses to do their job, Mandamus can command them to do it. These aren't just fancy legal terms. These are the actual practical weapons that every citizen has to defend their own liberty.
So we've looked at the shield and the sword. To wrap all this up, I want to clarify one last really critical point that honestly trips a lot of people up. Who exactly gets to use these rights?
Now, here's a key distinction you have to remember. Not all of these rights are for everybody. Some of them, like the ban on discrimination in Article 15 or the 6 freedoms in Article 19, are reserved for Indian citizens only. But, and this is huge, many of the most essential ones, like equality before the law in Article 14, and most importantly, the right to life in Article 21, are guaranteed to all persons on Indian soil. That includes foreigners, too. Knowing who gets what is absolutely key.
So, when you boil it all down, here's the ultimate takeaway. The Constitution doesn't just say, here's your liberty, hope you enjoy it. No, it hands you the tools to protect it. It gives you a shield and it gives you a sword. So the only real question left is, are you prepared to defend that liberty?